Pechi, and guess what? In studio today we have special guests as always, and I can tell from the background music, you can tell how old I am. Music actually comes on Kadi. So I just played for you Sun El Musician featuring Simi, a song called Lengane. And it's time for the business consultant. And today it's youth in agriculture with Hugh Sibanda. Mukuma Hugh is, I would say he's the go-to guy for Zinjagurima. Sometimes we grew up thinking Gurima Madara, you saw these pot-bellied people. But he's a young guy, and I won't tell you how old he is. He's my 30-something. He still is a youthie. And we've got a lot of points of discussion, and I'll give you a little bit of background. Off air, we were talking within the last 3 minutes. I was giving him an idea to say, you know, this is what I want to do in farming, and all of that, and we have the right man in studio. You welcome back to Capital 100.4 FM.
Thanks, Jeff. Good afternoon, Zimbabwe.
You've had a very busy media morning. You've been on TV, radio, newspapers are also going to be talking to you. We're going to be talking about funding and business models, because Nyaimari, as you know, that farming is very important, and capital is very capital intensive. Right. Now, I mean, what funding models are currently being pursued in the banking sector for commercial businesses?
Okay. Thanks, Jeff. I mean, before I attack the question directly, I wanted to give a bit of background and a bit of context.
Sure thing, man.
So that we can appeal to the everyday Zimbabwe. Right? I mean, we all know what has happened since 2000 when land reform happened.
Yes.
The economy took a downturn. It's been 2 decades of gradual recession, so to speak. And we've come from being a net exporter, a well-to-do Southern African country, etc., to the current state of affairs where Trukukia.
Can I say can I speak to my street guys?
Please,
right now?
please, to speak to the Exactly. You know, so the current state of affairs is, listen, we are trying to move the country forward. We are trying to implement things that take us from a point of recession into a point of economic growth, right? And key to that is capital, specifically a transmission mechanism of how you get money to small businesses, young farmers, the small to medium scale enterprise, industry. That is basically your key driver if you want to then go back to the path towards success in the Second Republic and achieve your Vision 2030. This is the whole background or environment that's the sort of thinking that that's what we're trying to address. So we come to that and we say, okay, look, we are let's call a spade a spade. We are currently financially challenged. You know, we do have young people with energy. We do have a nation that wants to progress, and but all our ambition and all our eagerness requires something to kickstart whatever ideas. If you want to do there has to be somewhere where you can access just that extra boost of help. So we got a government to realize this, and they said, look, we're going to be setting up banks and institutions that can assist people, and we've got models that are currently in the funding world that people are saying that they want to pursue. The most recent noise has been around models that have to do with solid offtake. So people are saying, look, if you've got solid offtake, if Evans, for example, if a big company wants to buy your product and they're credible, we can give you money.
So it's sort of like in regular business, let's say supply and demand, sort of like order financing. So you've got the contract from, let's say, TNG, and they say they want to buy all of your tobacco.
It's brilliant that you bring out that specific definition of a product, order finance, for example. In essence, order finance is very simple. Like you're correctly saying, if you've got your order, right? The bank simply says, look, is the off-taker credible? Wokupa mari to satisfy your order, or they give the money to wherever you're supposed to source the raw materials, etc. There's one characteristic that is not there in an order financing. Typically, you are not asked to provide collateral.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So it's the bank or the financial
Or the
institution, or in this case, the government, taking a huge risk to say, we believe that your offtake is going to be settled.
Yeah.
So we are going to hold your hand and take you through this process.
Yeah.
And we will share the risk,
Yeah.
even though the government is taking more of a risk.
Yeah.
What we're going to do is going to take a short commercial break.
Yeah.
But when we do come back, I want you to wrap your head around this and send you messages on 0717 777. A lot of people will say the government is not doing enough. I mean, at my age, I have heard of many schemes, many things that I have seen, whether you can call them political or it was government policy. Vanhu vakawanda vakapiwa zvinhu. And not very many of those people have been able to show, have something to show for it. To the point where someone will give you diesel and then you sell it on the black market. But there are some farmers who I can name right now who have turned their businesses from as little as $5,000 to the value of $150,000. And these guys are now buying farms and renting other farms. This is the Capital Drive on Capital 100.4 FM. Leading the conversation, this is the business consultant, youth in agriculture with Hugh Sibanda. And when he comes back, and you guys are going to get an invite. So stay tuned for more.